Hi everyone, I'm Jessica,
And I'm Melissa.
and this is Bumps in the Road. Hey Melissa.
Hi.
So, our last episode was my journey.
Your story.
Yes, my story. Most of my story. Looking back, we realized that I got left out.
You left like a big part out of your second pregnancy, your third child.
So,
do you want to touch on that real quick and just kind of like catch everybody up to that part that we completely missed?
I think we could circle back to it in another episode because today I really want to focus on you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I want to hear your story. So, if our viewers have not seen our last episode, at the end of the episode, you shared that you were just recently diagnosed with PCOS. And so I wanted to kind of backtrack in your life from the very beginning of like when your journey truly started.
So I was a baby
So we were friends. We've been friends since college, early college days.
Long time.
So during that time, we kind of all banded together. We had our other close friend, and I remember kind of all decided that we wanted to take the next step in adulthood, and we had a number of reasons of why we chose this, but we went to the doctor together.
Oh yeah.
And so we
all decided we were going to go on birth control for whatever reason at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't stay on it.
I didn't think you were on it very long.
I think I took a shot one time and then never went back.
Did you do like the depot shot?
I think so.
I did the pill, you did the shot, and I can't remember what our other friend did.
Our other friend got the implant.
Okay, yes, yeah.
I think
so we all did different options, but essentially the same purpose for different reasons.
I knew that I could not be on the pill.
Yeah.
Because I am terrible at taking a medication every single day.
Yeah.
I'm so forgetful when it comes to that. I will...
Understandable.
The minute my routine changes, it's gone. But I think I took it once, and then I decided that I was not going to be sexually active. So I just never took it again.
Because you didn't...
I didn't need it.
Yeah.
It wasn't... I had a friend at the time, not in our group, but at the time, she was going through a lot of really big struggles with hormones. And for those of you that don't know, birth control is just excess hormones, essentially, that kind of alter your abilities to get pregnant. She was struggling a lot with it. She was experiencing, weight issues and period issues.
Yeah,
and
all the side effects.
There's so many things. Birth control has a lot of side effects. Yeah. And I think she got every single one of them.
Yeah.
And so that kind of scared me into being like, I don't really know that this is for me, but also just I didn't need it at the time. I was not on the same kind of journey y'all were. My living situation was very different. I didn't have like freedom at the time to kind of do really whatever. I was living a very particular kind of thing. And so it just wasn't for me at the time.
Yeah.
So I never really got on birth control, which was interesting to where we are now. And that it'll come into play in a second when I tell you about like updates. But fast forward 10 years, 12 years. And I met my now husband.
Yeah.
And I asked him before I did this episode how much he was comfortable with sharing, because it is like we're actively going through this. It is our private life. But he understands that my heart for this podcast is to be open transparent and vulnerable about like we are experiencing struggles getting pregnant.
Yeah.
One thing that he told me before we got married, he wanted me to know up front was that he had been told he would never have children. And I have never had that like deep desire to carry a child. I know that there's a lot of women that like that's a huge thing for them. They want to carry a baby. That is a desire that they have. I just was open to more options early on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I've never been the one that's like, I need to carry a child. So when he told me that, I was like, that's fine. I still love you. I still want to marry you. And we started planning our wedding 6 months before he had actually proposed, like we were the kind of people that we communicated.
Yeah. I mean, y'all
prior.
knew, I think y'all knew very early that that this was it.
Oh yeah. Early on in that relationship, it was, this is how it's going to be.
I will add, just I'm going to slide this in here, that myself and our other friend had to be like, Melissa, I think this guy is really into you, because they were hanging out as friends. I won't put the whole story out there.
Oh no, it's fine. We saw each other every single week.
And as
well as a year before I caught on that he likes me.
Yes, and so myself and my other friend were like, "Girl, like he likes you," and then
listen,
here we are.
I am very oblivious to everything. However, in my defense, when he tells this story, he tells it in a way that I would have never.
That he laid it down and you did not.
There, it just went straight over my head. And like, he'll tell the story. He's like, "Well, you rejected me," and no, I didn't. I didn't know that that's what was happening.
Yeah.
So, in my defense, I really needed to let my feelings for him develop, because if I had just been like,
"Sure,
oh yeah, totally, let's go, whatever," we would not be where we are now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He had to like settle in that for like a year. And I really had to let my feelings develop, because I've always considered myself, I'm going to use a big word here, I've always considered myself a demisexual person. Meaning I have to be romantically inclined before I ever find someone sexually attractive. Like you're not even on my radar until I have romantic feelings for you. Like, you have wooed me.
Okay.
And so he was not on my radar.
He was not wooing you yet.
No. Well, and it took a while, because like I would see him every week for like a year. We had a friend group that like hung out almost every weekend.
Week.
And it took him expressing sides of himself that like he doesn't come out at first. Like, he really loves to read. I really love to read.
So y'all's marriage, really, y'all started with a foundation of friendship. Truly.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I would have gotten married to anybody other than my best friend.
I would agree with that.
I am a very like, we have to be emotionally so connected that I am safe to like lock it in for life. I'm
right there with you.
Ugh.
That's, in my opinion, that's where you get your successful marriages that last. So, y'all are married.
So we got married. Well, no. Before that.
Yes.
So we had decided that we were going to be married. We did not go through a traditional proposal, because we were the kind of people that we had conversations up to the point that we got married. Of like, here's how we want our life to be. Here's how we want to raise our children. We were ready to be married 6 months before we actually like got married. So I think even before he officially proposed, we were waiting on the ring. We had already decided we were getting married. And I wound up moving in, and we wound up we were living as if we were married.
Yeah.
Just happens.
Yeah.
I was living in a situation at the time where I needed to move out gradually, so we kind of just gently switched. And so I was here all the time, and I eventually wound up living here. And when we decided that we were going to get married, we started living as if we were married. Which meant that we were not as careful as other people.
Yeah. During sexy time. And this was kind of, for us, it was something that we didn't really have to worry about, because he had been told that he could
not have children. And so for us, it was like, you know what? We're going to be married. We already know this is forever. This is the thing we want. There is no downside to this. Like, we don't really feel like there's a need to like wait anymore. This is what we want.
Yeah.
And surprise, before we could even announce that we were engaged, we were pregnant.
Yeah.
So on Father's Day, we found out that we were going to have a baby. And neither one of us expected it. I had a full breakdown because I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't ready.
I mean, I remember you telling us, like, we didn't believe you. I'm like,
this was
what?
my favorite. This was my favorite. Because you had gone through 3 children. Like, twice now, you've had to announce that you were pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I finally was like, it's my turn.
Yeah.
And so I took multiple pregnancy tests, and I was like, I cannot wait. I literally could not wait to tell you. Yeah. I was so shocked and so excited and so they're not going to believe this that I immediately called an emergency meeting. Yeah. And was like, meet me here at this time right now. You don't get a choice. You go. Yeah. They both showed up because...
And let me tell you how she tells us. She pulls out a...
You gotta tell them where we were.
Okay, we were at Smoothie... No.
We were at
Smoothie King, yes. And so we get our smoothies and we're like, okay, why are we here?
Yeah. But at this point, I think y'all were worried. I think you thought either I'm pregnant or I'm engaged. Because at the time, we still weren't officially engaged.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember. I remember I had thoughts and feelings, but me and my other friend, but I don't remember now. It seems like so long ago.
I remember y'all being so shocked.
Oh, we were. But, okay, let me set this up. We're sitting at the table. We have our little smoothies, and we're enjoying those. And she pulls out a Ziploc baggie.
A gallon Ziploc bag.
And, lays it on the table, the pregnancy test.
In a bag, so it was sanitary. But I was just like, I couldn't hold it in. I just put them out. And
that's all she did. She put it out. No words, nothing.
My little announcement.
My friend and I looked at each other and she started. Well, our other friend started crying first. I started crying. We all embraced each other in a hug, and it was a very.
It was a lot, and the thing was, I was still shocked, and our other friend had been trying, so she was shocked.
Yeah.
And because we were not trying,
we all thought really that it was going to be her. She was going to be the next one.
She was going to be the next one. And it was because I was told I wasn't going to have my own kids because he couldn't have children. But we got pregnant. And I immediately ordered the book. I started setting up Amazon orders. I made my baby registry. I started doing research on how to do everything. And I went full force straight into it.
As she does.
Yes.
So we are now roughly how many weeks at this point? You're still very early because you found out very early.
We found out. Well, and this is the thing. So I had been in the hospital the week prior to Father's Day because I apparently had developed acute pancreatitis. So I had been on an all-liquid diet. I had been not feeling very good. I never had any sickness or anything, but there was this little part of me that was just like, you're a couple of days late. You should probably take a pregnancy test. And so I did. And I told my husband, I was like, I'm going to take a pregnancy. He's like, there's no point. And I was like, I'm going to record it because you never know. And he goes, no, that's dumb. You're just getting yourself excited. It's going to be negative. And I regret so much not recording that moment.
Yeah.
But also that moment was so intense that even if I recorded it, I don't think I'd ever show it to people. Because it was,
I can imagine.
I went into full panic. I did not get excited. I went into panic. Really? I was terrified.
Was he here at the house?
We were here. We had just gotten back from seeing his grandfather for Father's Day. And I was like, I'm going to stop and get something. And then I come home and we stood at the bar that used to be in the house. And I was just like, it's probably going to be negative. And then we flipped it over and it wasn't. And his face lit up. He was so excited.
Oh.
He has always wanted a child. And I so want that for him.
Yeah.
He agrees, though. He knows that, it doesn't have to be our child. It can be
biologically.
Child. Yeah. But it will be our child no matter what. And so we had very different reactions. He was very excited, but he was really reserved because he was really worried because he was told he couldn't have kids. And I was excited, but I was more scared than anything because I don't do well mentally with the unknown. I don't handle surprises very well when it's that big. So it took me a good, I think, 2 weeks to fully process and be like, oh, okay, now I can be happy and like excited and do all the things. And so right about the time that I was getting excited about it, scheduling appointments, you know, with doctors, with baby doctors.
Yeah. If you didn't know, whenever you are you have a positive pregnancy test, the doctor typically won't see you until you're
10 to 12 weeks.
Yes, and that's whenever they will do, like, that's when you get your first ultrasound and all of that.
So my appointment was scheduled at exactly 12 weeks. So which is 3 months for math challenged. And for 3 months, well, I guess it was more really like 2, because we found out when we were 3 weeks. The reason I brought up the hospital stay was because they had done a pregnancy test while I was in the hospital the week prior.
Yeah, and it was
negative. So it was within 2 weeks that we had conceived. So we knew that our baby was about 2 or 3 weeks to 5 weeks. Let's take a pause here. Pregnancy math is dumb. So they'll tell you that your baby is 8 weeks old when they're really only 4, or they'll tell you they're 5 when they're 3, because you can't go by the date of conception, because it's almost impossible to pinpoint date of conception for everybody. So the way they do it is they just calculate it based on the first day of your last period. So if you find out you're pregnant 2 weeks after your period, they calculate it as 3 extra weeks on top of whenever your baby's here. So when they're saying you need to grow your baby for 40 weeks, that really means somewhere between 39 and 42, because we don't actually know when you had the baby. So it's not a perfect science. That made me crazy.
Okay.
I don't know why that particular thing bugged me so much. But they would tell me that my baby was 5 weeks. Which I only saw the doctor once, and it was the like pre visit. There was no genetics, there was nothing. It was just, hey, I'm pregnant, let's establish that you're my doctor. And that was kind of it. Let's confirm that you're pregnant with a test, your blood tests and things like that. But she told me that I was 5 weeks, and I was like, I'm only 3 weeks. We know exactly what day we conceived. Don't ask me how. I was in the hospital the whole week. There was a whole thing. There was only one day that it could have been. We knew. Forgive us, as we are still learning our setup.
Melissa's leg went numb.
My feet go like
so that's why we had to change positions.
My legs don't like sitting on a couch like this. I think we're gonna figure out a new setup, because this is not our favorite.
This is not working well for Melissa's leg.
It's not working well for anything. It's fine.
Okay, so you're roughly 5 weeks pregnant.
So I was 5 weeks pregnant, and then it was just
some time had passed.
Some time passed, and we were getting ready to go to. We waited the appropriate amount of time to announce. Every book, every post, everything tells you to wait 3 months. They tell you wait till you're 12 weeks to announce that you're pregnant. Typically, most losses happen between the first 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So we waited exactly 12 weeks. We had planned a post. We had everything ready to go.
Had you gone to your big visit yet? Or like where they do the ultrasound?
No, our first visit was scheduled for the day after that.
Okay.
Literally, we decided to post that we were pregnant the day before our big appointment. Because we thought, okay, we'll announce that we're pregnant, and then eventually, later we'll know what the gender is and, other stuff, so we'll have time to kind of settle into that with ourselves. So the day came, we posted...
Can I back you up?
Yeah.
Because before that day, had you had any bleeding, any spotting, any cramping, anything like that?
I didn't even have morning sickness. I had nothing. I was very tired. I was constantly tired. I was very lethargic. I was very tired all the time. Yeah. And I didn't really experience any other symptoms like morning sickness or like breast tenderness. Like, I didn't get anything else. I was just tired all the time.
Okay.
So we get to the day we're going to post, and we posted. Everybody saw it. Hundreds of likes and comments. Like, family members congratulating us. And then the day goes by, and I'm realizing that I'm not feeling great. And I'm thinking this is due to the pancreatitis. Because at the time, I had only been managing that for about 2 months. For those of you that don't know, pancreatitis is essentially where your pancreas is not processing your food properly, and it makes you alter your diet. So I couldn't have any red meats. I couldn't have any raw vegetables. I couldn't have a lot of processed fats or oils. So I had altered my diet completely.
And not that you're a drinker, but you can't have
any alcohol whatsoever. But I altered my diet completely, and then they also said, hey, while you're pregnant, you can also not have tuna, lunch meat, things like that. I'm like, okay, great. So I have to alter it again. So my body was trying to figure out how to survive on this new diet that I was on.
So that's kind of what you attributed.
I thought that these kind of weird tummy pains that I was having were my body adjusting, because it had happened. Somewhere around 1 or 2 in the morning, I think.
Well, I remember even you had texted me at one point asking me about, it was like, I feel like it was like 6 o'clock in the evening. And you were texting, like, inquiring about, like, this has been going on. Is this normal? And I was thinking, because I'm a nurse, that's my background, I'm thinking my nurse brain is like, no, it's not really normal. But then my friend brain is like, no, I don't want to tell that. I don't want to like freak her out or scare her or anything.
Well, I was.
Yeah.
And I wound up calling the nurse hotline at our hospital, because I don't go to hospitals around here. I go to Waxahachie in general. I just do. I called the nurse hotline, and I was like, here's what I'm experiencing. They said, come in now. And I told the lady, I was like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. So we knew what was happening. I was actively in the middle of a miscarriage. However, I hadn't, when the first call happened, I was just having a lot of really bad pain. And it kind of felt somewhere between a cramp and like when you've got food poisoning, like that turmoil in your stomach. And it was gut-wrenchingly painful. It wasn't the worst pain I've ever experienced. It definitely probably is not the same as childbirth or tearing your internal systems, but it was definitely more pain than I had ever experienced in that region. And in between getting ready to go to the hospital to check that everything was okay, I wound up, we'll just say it how it is, I wound up passing the first part of my placenta. I was, like I said, an active miscarriage, and basically that means that you are losing your child, but that means it's not just the baby. Like, your placenta comes out too, and it kind of comes out the way a period does. Like, when you have a period, your uterine lining sheds. So there was a lot of fibrous tissue that came out first. And not long after that, it was a lot of blood. And I think I sat there in shock for a little while. And I was, you go through this range of emotions of, this is scary and this hurts, and you internalize like all the things about that are affecting you. But then on top of that, I'm watching my husband. I should have got the tissues. I'm watching my husband fully break apart because he cannot help me.
Yeah.
There is nothing that you can do in those moments to make it better, to make it hurt less, to change anything about what's happening. You are stuck in this horrible moment of grief that is like instant. And even losing a loved one, like I was there when my grandfather passed away, and that grief, it was almost accepted because he was an older person. We were expecting it. That's fine. This was like a car crash grief, like sudden, ripped away from you, too young to die kind of pain. But then you're also watching someone who's completely helpless go through that same thing. And they can't do anything. So he kind of just stood there and was like, I don't know how to help you. I don't know what to do. He was pretty quiet. He's a pretty quiet guy. And I did wind up passing the baby here. And so I can't let things go. I am a very, we're going to call it scientific person, but really I just have curiosity. And I didn't know what to do. And so I was like, I have to take this thing with me now to the hospital. And for us, and I need to clarify this because this is not the same for everybody, we refer to our pregnancy as like it, they, thing. Like, we don't use those terms as negatives. We did not know the gender. And to us, I don't even think it felt, this is something that I don't really talk about a lot, is it never felt real to me. Like, it felt like it wasn't a real thing yet. I don't know why a lot of people say that it doesn't feel that way until you have your ultrasound and you can see it.
I can understand that. I can see how once you see it, you hear it, that, like,
and that's kind of the way they say with fathers, is that they don't actually feel like fathers until they hold their baby for the first time. Mothers don't feel like mothers until they see the first ultrasound. We never really, it wasn't a person yet. And for us, that's not a comment on like abortion and that babies aren't babies and those kinds of things. That's a separate thing. It was like meeting a random child on the street and being like, I don't know your personality or anything yet, so I'm not going to worry about you once I go on with my business. It was just kind of like, oh, they're there. We care about them, but they're not like, we're not attached to them yet. And so I didn't have any kind of weird attachment to the object that came out of me. So I scooped it up and I put it in something. I think we must have put it in a Ziploc or something, just because we didn't know what else to do. And I can't stress this enough. There is no wrong way to do this. There is no right way. There's no wrong way to have that kind of experience. Your body goes on an autopilot and just does something. It's not the same for everybody. There are some people that are like, this is a baby and it's gentle and I need to bury it. And there are other people that are like, this means nothing to me and it can go in the trash. And we were somewhere in the middle of like, this is ours. We created it. But there was no attachment. Like, there was no familial attachment yet. And so we had this like, I have to get it there somehow. And it's a liquid. It's not a liquid, but it was like a liquid. A fluid-filled thing. So I put it in a little Ziploc, and I took it with us, and we went to the hospital. And I am actively, like, during the whole process, you bleed. Some people bleed a lot. Some people don't bleed any. I apparently am a heavy bleeder. Like, when that happened, they had to bring me like the adult diaper they give pregnant women. I think I replaced it 3 times and I was in the hospital for just a couple hours. I was bleeding so much. And it's not blood that you can like stop. You just have to go through it. But what I didn't realize at the time was, by the time we got to the hospital, I had not fully passed my placenta. I was passing large chunks, which is what they want when you go in for a miscarriage. If you're only passing little tiny pieces or not passing anything, they might send you in for surgery, which you can't really do anything about it, but you don't want to go into surgery if you don't have to.
Yes, because if all of it doesn't come out and the placenta or any particles stay, you can become very sick
and get infected
and die, essentially.
It's not the right word to use for the situation, but I was lucky because my baby and my placenta were passing in large chunks, so I was doing the right thing. When I left the hospital, they believed that I had passed everything. I was in literal diapers for a couple weeks after that because I was still bleeding a lot, and I felt depleted in every way a person can be depleted. I was tired. I was emotional. There was just a lot of things, and there will never be a way to explain that feeling unless you've gone through it. And I've talked to a lot of women since then they say the same thing, like, until you go through a miscarriage, you cannot describe it to somebody else. Like, you can't write about it, you can't sing about it, like, you can get close, but nothing really matches that energy of what that feels like. And so we went home. We came back here, and my husband was absolutely wonderful. He did not know what to do, so he did everything. He did everything for me because I don't think I left our bed for days. Like, I think I was stuck in there for a while. But then we both had to go back to work.
Yeah.
And that was the weirdest part, was like, you're going through this trauma and then they're like, oh, well, you have to go back to work now. Because you had a baby, but you don't get maternity leave for a miscarriage. Like, your body passes a child out of it, and there's not like okay, well, now you get a week off to like grieve this loss. That's not a thing here. So we went back to work, and I think a few days later, he was still trying to cheer me up. So he was like taking me shopping and doing stuff. So we were walking around the at-home store because we were looking for like carpets and like outdoor rugs and stuff. And I just remember this overwhelming feeling of, I'm about to pass out. And I couldn't really explain what was happening at the time. I kind of like, I had my buggy, and I just kind of leaned on the buggy, and then I think I like blacked out for a second, just like a split second. And I was like, something is about to happen, and I need to like find a restroom right now to like, I again thought like, oh, I just need to go number 2 really bad or something like that. Like, oh, I'm about to have a pancreatic episode is what we call them when things happen in your tummy. So I thought I was going to have like, I thought something else was about to happen. And I remember going into the restroom, and on my way like to the stall, I felt a plop. Not a gush, a full-on physical plop. Apparently, I had not passed all of my placenta. So a week later, the final piece of my placenta came out.
What?
While we're shopping. And at this time, I was like, oh, I'm fine. I didn't like really think about bringing backup diapers at the time. But this piece came out, and I was sitting in a puddle of my own blood in this bathroom. Because I like this, in addition to the physical pain you feel, when you pass something through your body decides it's done, and it just kind of like collapses. Even if it was little like this, it wasn't huge, it was just a little, but it was enough that my body was like, whoa, we're done now. And so I wound up sitting in the floor of this bathroom to like regain myself. And I'm doubled over, and my husband is like knocking on the door of this, like, he knows something just happened. And he knows that like there might be someone else in there, so he's like knocking, like, are you okay? Like, do we need to go to the hospital? They're like, no, I think I'll be fine. But we had to leave immediately because now I'm like gushing blood again.
With blood. Yeah.
And so I'm like, we gotta go home.
So we gotta leave at home to go
home. So I like cleaned up, and then we left, and I don't even remember how I got out of the store. Like, I don't remember. A lot of it was like, I'm focused on one thing right now, and it is. And so after that last portion came out, which was traumatic, the whole experience was just trauma. Like, it was something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. My body started regaining itself, which meant that the blood started to lessen. I think I bled for like a month or so, and then I didn't have a period. And then once I did start having my periods again, they were extremely heavy. And that lasted for almost, 6 to 8 months. I was still having really heavy periods.
I would say that I had that, not that I had a miscarriage, but after my birth, that sounds exactly what I experienced too.
So it was this it took me a while to get comfortable outside of the like pregnancy diapers, to go back to normal, because when you're bleeding that much, you're constantly thinking about, am I leaking? Am I like, so I brought a lot of sweaters in the middle of Texas just to make sure. But I was thinking about it a lot. And so I finally got back to like a normal area. And that's only been a couple months now. This has all been within the past year and a half that all this happened. So we went through that miscarriage. And the miscarriage happened in a day. A day and then a piece of another day. That miscarriage lasted 6 months. And the thing that we really... one of the things that I struggled with the most was we had posted that we were pregnant. Then that day, we had an appointment the next day, but the night in between is when we had our miscarriage. So we had posted this like cute little, we were readers, so we did a plot twist where we were pregnant. And then I immediately had to take it down. In my grief of like losing this child, I knew that I couldn't leave that up, because I was still getting texts and calls and congratulations, and I am actively sobbing. Because I don't think we posted it until later that evening. So like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and by 6 o'clock, I'm already feeling like a miscarriage. So I think we left it up for less than 24 hours. But I still got congratulations for weeks. And when I was like laying in bed trying to like deal with this huge thing that just happened, and people are calling you and saying like, congratulations, or I can't believe you didn't tell me, and like texting, like my phone did not stop. Like my husband had to take my phone into another room, turned it off, took it in another room, because if I touched it, I was sobbing, and I was sobbing and sobbing, and like I was uncontrollable. Unconsolable.
I gotcha.
That's the word I wanted. And so I wound up like gathering my strength enough so that the next day I could post and be like, we went through this. And there are still people that ask me like, oh, how's your baby?
Really?
Yeah, still to this day. Like I do conventions. So there's a lot of people that I only see maybe once a year, maybe once or twice a year. And there are people that still ask me to this day, how's your baby? And I'm like, we wound up not having it. That's how I kind of respond, is when people ask me like, oh, how's your baby? How was your pregnancy? I'll be like, we wound up not being pregnant anymore. And most people are like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they walk away really fast. But there are a lot of people, especially in like, this is one thing I did not expect. So I do conventions, and basically what that means is I work staff, or I run the staff, or I like sit with some of the celebrity guests and like do stuff for them. at different like big group gatherings for things, so like Fan Expo, Retro Expo, and I have this group of friends that I only see in these instances.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have now crossed over. Like my friend Kendall, she came to our wedding. Okay. Not our wedding, but
yeah,
my wedding.
I gotcha.
But Kendall was there. So some of them have crossed over. But this is like a whole different world. Mm-hmm. Like, y'all have never met these people. Yeah. They have never met my, like, real life friends. Mm-hmm. But they're just as important to me. Mm-hmm. And they have been some of the most encouraging, like, uplifting, supportive, but, like, there's this absolute understanding mm-hmm. that everybody had. Because when I wound up pregnant, during that time frame of still being pregnant, I had a convention, Retro Expo. Nobody would let me do anything. They wouldn't let me walk. I was barely like a month or two pregnant, mm-hmm. and I had wound up telling them while I was there, and they wouldn't let me like run around like I normally do. They're like, "We'll do it. Tell me what you want. We'll go take care of that." And I'm like, "Okay." The next year I came back, and every single one of those people either already knew, they still wouldn't let me do things. Mm-hmm. This was a little bit different because I was like gung-ho about it, but they were still so kind and courteous, and like it was weird to have that much support in such a like random part of my life. Mm-hmm. Like even the people that I know, like everybody's really supportive, but you know, most of the people that you see on a daily basis are like your work people. Yeah. Like they're not.
It's nice to have that support in an unexpected way.
It really was. Yeah. And I really appreciated like that group of people because those were the ones that were also very open about like, I've also gone through that. Mm. Here's, you know, there was another girl at the convention that I was doing when I found out that I was pregnant. She was actively going through a miscarriage while she was there. Oh. It was not her first. She was more well-versed on what happens. Uh-huh. But she was dealing with a miscarriage at the same time, and I had no idea. Yeah. And that was really empowering to hear. Of like, oh, wow, that's strength. Mm-hmm. That is bravery. I was in my room, collapsed in a puddle, mm-hmm. and you were out here doing a convention. Like, mm-hmm. that was a crazy occurrence. Yeah. So anyway, we get through this part of, we've posted it, we've had a miscarriage, we posted again that we were no longer pregnant. Uh-huh. And then I had about a 6-month regrouping of my body. Yeah. And then we had a couple of months that were like fine.
You had like that light bulb moment. Oh, it's been some time, mm-hmm. and we haven't gotten pregnant mm-hmm. again.
And it was one of those things of I had already kind of had that feeling, and then something happened. I was 2 weeks late mm-hmm. on one of my periods. Mm-hmm. And I was like testing, and I took 4 negative pregnancy tests. So I thought either my hormone levels are extremely low that they cannot be recognized by these tests, or something's wrong. And I decided it was time to see a doctor. So I scheduled a woman's health visit. And she basically told me, like, you really need to see a regular doctor because you're not pregnant. This isn't really, like, it's not a women's health thing. If you're not pregnant, if you're not, like, it's now you need to see a regular doctor. So I scheduled a regular doctor appointment. And in between, she did blood work. And when I went to see the regular doctor, she told me, hey, we noticed you have your thyroid is not working properly. We think you have hypothyroidism. Uh-huh. And I said, yes, I've been told that before. I had been put on medication for it. I had stopped taking it because, fun fact, again, I don't like taking pills every single day at a certain time. I forget.
She's a very bad patient for all my nurse friends listening.
But with this particular pill, when you have thyroidism of any kind, mm-hmm. you have to take this very specific pill at a specific time of day with no food in your stomach. You can't eat for another hour after you take it. You can only take it with water, and it has to be like in the morning. And as someone who just, my days don't always do the same thing. Like right now I'm going through school. I do online school, so I kind of just wake up whenever my husband does. I don't always wake up at the same time every day. I kind of am random, and I've always been that way. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to like schedule, oh, I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night to make sure I take this medication. Mm-hmm. So I had gotten off of it, and she's like, okay, so we're going to start it again. We're going to see how that goes. She goes, also, we noticed that you've got these symptoms, and I had told her about my periods because I had one that was 2 weeks late, had that period, and now had another one that was a week late. And so she took that, and I had told her she knew about the thyroidism, and she basically said, I think you have PCOS. She didn't really test for it yet. I don't think they tested my androgen levels. And androgens are the amount of male, like testosterone and things like that mm-hmm. in your body. Hormones. Thank you. Male mm-hmm. hormones. That's what I was looking for. Androgens are the male hormones that are in your body, whether that's testosterone or any of the others, because there are multiple ones. But she didn't really test for that, so I think that's probably what we'll do at my next appointment. Mm-hmm. But she basically said, here's information on PCOS now. By the way, this means that you are technically considered infertile. Which flipped a switch because my husband's been told that he can't have children. Mm-hmm. Now I'm being told that we can't have children. But we were already pregnant. Mm-hmm. I'm doing things as if I have PCOS. Mm-hmm. Like, I have altered my diet once again, and this was my favorite part of that visit. It was my favorite part. The doctor handed me a list of, like, here are some healthier, better options mm-hmm. to choose for PCOS symptoms, which mostly is, like, cutting out, like, sugars and, like, complex carbs and things like that. All of the things on the list are worse than stuff I already eat. I was already eating better than this, like, diet she was giving me to go on. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, okay, great. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing then. But she did, like, tell me to do a few other things, like, walking directly after you eat mm-hmm. and stuff like that, which I will be doing. But I haven't been confirmed mm-hmm. PCOS yet. Yeah. It's just what she thinks. However, the hypothyroidism, I'm medicating for that. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that kind of helps out a little bit. Yeah. But we're in a weird place right now because I am in research mode. Mm-hmm. Everything I'm doing is trying to figure out as much about PCOS as I can, mm-hmm. which right now, most of everything is just lose weight. Just lose weight, and everything will fix itself.
Well, that's one of the biggest struggles with PCOS.
It's also the biggest struggle with hypothyroidism.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm in this weird bowl of, like, I don't have the hormones that allow me to, and a lifelong issue has now been, like, uncovered now, because I have never been able to lose weight, and I have told people that, and it's always been like, oh, you're just fat. You're fat, you eat too much, whatever. But there's like, oh, no, my body is literally not producing the hormone that is required to allow me to lose weight, to allow my metabolism to get to the point where it needs to be, mm-hmm. to shed all of the things that are coming into it. Mm-hmm. There was a good 2-year period where I was in the gym, like, 3 times a week, eating super healthy. I worked out consistently, ate all the correct foods, was counting calories, doing every little thing for 2 years, and did not lose any weight. And so I knew something was wrong, but I never had the time to deal with it. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, oh, here's the answer to that. It's you literally have a chemical imbalance mm-hmm. in your body where your body's not producing the right amount of hormones to allow you to do this. But on top of that, now my body is not producing enough hormones to allow to get pregnant. And I don't know if everybody knows what PCOS is. I didn't. Basically, it means that the eggs that are collecting in your ovaries are not releasing. Like, your body's not producing enough hormones to let the eggs fully release which happens during ovulation and stuff like that. So your ovaries continue to store those eggs for a long time, and they just continue to grow. And once they get bunched up in there like that, they can't release properly, or you'll release a whole bunch at one time, and it won't allow you to get pregnant. It's the hormone levels are wrong. So basically what I've learned about myself is just everything that has to do with hormones, wrong. But this is where I was talking about the birth control stuff. A lot of women notice PCOS after having been on birth control for most of their lives. The longer you're on birth control, it adjusts your hormones. If you come off of it, sometimes symptoms show up. I had never taken birth control. So this is my like natural resting state, is my body is just not producing the right things. So that's where I'm at currently, is trying to figure out how to get my body to do what a body is supposed to do. I'm a little angry. It's really hard to be told things. I don't like feeling out of control. And I think that that's a big part of kind of everything that we've gone through, the miscarriage, the like posting that we were pregnant and then immediately having to take it back. Feeling out of control for me is really hard.
I think that's hard for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Being diagnosed with hypothyroidism alone kind of put me in a weird place, because it kind of seemed like no matter how hard I struggled with my entire life, I will never be able to control my own body. I have to now take this medication to be able to attempt to try to control my own body. And then to be on top of that diagnosed with PCOS, which is also just like, we just have to wait around and see.
Yeah.
They're very hard things to deal with, because I have the things that I can control, like taking the medication every day. There are no visible results from that. There's nothing that I do is going to change the situation that we found ourselves in. I now have to be at the mercy of a doctor telling me what they think. I have to be at the mercy of my own body, deciding whether or not it wants to do what it's literally created to do. And then on top of that, there's this weird apathy, I guess is the right way to put it. Like, I don't care what happens. Because me and my husband talked, like I said, when we first got married, he told me he didn't think he was going to be able to have children. We knew very early that we wanted to do adoption. That was like a very big thing that we wanted. If we could not have our own kids, adoption was perfectly fine. We're not people who plan to go through IVF, because it's expensive, for one, but watching somebody else carry a child for us, surrogacy, that wasn't something we wanted. If we can't have our own children, we'd rather take in children that need homes, versus try to test tube our way through something. And that's not to say that that's not the right choice for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like we've told you multiple times, our other friend has chosen to go through IVF. Totally supportive of her.
Right.
Love her to death. It's not something that I could go through. And we've talked about that. Like I've told her I couldn't experience what she's experiencing. I would not be able to handle it. But there's this overwhelming apathy of like, if it doesn't happen, that's fine. We have a backup plan. But it doesn't stop the internal like wanting.
Sure.
Of like, I want to be able to get pregnant. I want to be able to give my husband a child. I want to be able to do all those things. But that kind of puts it in a way of like, I am doing it. I am getting to make those decisions. And that's the thing that I'm struggling with, is I don't. I am at the mercy of my body. I'm at the mercy of a doctor's timeline. I'm at the mercy of God's timeline. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of something that I'm actively struggling with here at the end of this journey that I've been on so far.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like disappointment, and there's a little bit of anger in there that kind of comes out, and I've noticed it a little bit more. But there's also like, me and my husband went through something terrible and early in our marriage. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't have asked for a better partner at the time. And it strengthened us in a way that I think going forward will make us better people, better partners, better in general, because going through that kind of whirlwind of emotions, because like I said, we experienced a lot of death around the time that we got married. Mm-hmm. There was this mix of emotions there, and we handled it very well. We handled it with a lot of grace.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think that kind of proves that we'll be fine.
Yeah,
and that is a happy thought.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of different.
Yeah, a lot of emotions going on.
Yeah.
I have had patients who have miscarried before, and so I've been with them to comfort, and provide any support that I can from that regard. I had a patient that miscarried shortly after you had your miscarriage, and I feel like because you were so open about it with us, and we're, granted we are close, I was able to comfort her in a different level, as a mom of, I have children of my own, but having someone so close to you go through that loss, and, it puts it in a different perspective, and it's hard all the way around. And I can't, it's hard is not even the right word for what y'all are going through, but even for...
It affected waves of people. Mm-hmm. So, like, not only just us, but, like, our friends, our family. Yeah. His mom was, like, already buying furniture to make a nursery in her home because she was excited about it. Mm-hmm. The waves of disappointment and, like, sadness still have not stopped. I am still getting asked now how my baby is, or how my pregnancy went, or what we've decided to do. Like, it doesn't... I chose to be open about it because am just an open person. If you know me, you know that. You could literally ask me anything and I'll tell you. Mm-hmm. But two, there was no end to the amount of people in my comment section, or in my inbox, or in my texts, or in person, telling me that they had gone through it too. Mm-hmm. That they had experienced it and they didn't have support.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that they had gone through it. Or if they did know, it was shameful. Mm-hmm. Or they didn't talk about it, and so they weren't able to process their grief. There was no end to the people who are still telling me to this day, I'm surprised that you're able to talk about it like this. Mm-hmm. It's so healing for me to hear you talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I now feel comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
That was one of my big reasons I wanted to do this kind of podcast. Mm-hmm. This kind of, video diary sort of thing. I don't ever want to meet someone and pass them by again without being like, hey, you can tell me the hard stuff. Mm-hmm. This is a place where you can come and tell the hard stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't want people to feel like that anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, that broke my heart so much, to see these young women, older women I've known for a day, women I've known my whole life, telling me how how moved they were that I was able to share my story. Mm-hmm. And they felt like they had never been able to do it. And every single one of them, I was like, tell me. If you want to tell somebody, text me, call me, we'll set up a chat.
Yeah.
I will listen. I will commiserate if you want. I will pray for you if you want. Like, I will be the person that just sits there like a statue and lets you talk it out. Mm. And that's kind of what I hope that this gets to be. It's educational, it's safe, it's healing, it's just a place for us to be vulnerable and be understood. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all for joining us on this episode. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing your journey and your bumps. I have a feeling that we're going to have episodes of updates from you in the future with, where you're at with your PCOS and things like that.
I think we'll kind of piece that in with most of the episodes. Like, we've talked about having a catch-up portion before we get into like an episode. I think that's where those will live, is in the like updates section. Will be like the first thing we do.
Yeah.
We are going to take a little bit of time before our next episode. Mm-hmm. You're a mom of 3.
Yeah.
I've got a cat.
You have like 3 cats.
I have 3 cats that will not stop.
You're going to school. I'm working full time.
So we're probably going to try to do, I think we've agreed, 1 a month. Okay. I think we're excited about the next step in this, which is guests.
Yes. We actually have, we're waiting for confirmation, but we're 90% positive that we have our first actual guest booked.
We have a list of other people
but
that have
we
offered.
Also have a list of other guests that will be on. So our next episode will be a guest of some sort.
Definitely leave any comments or questions. Yes. And if you can, share this video. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to get famous. We're not trying to be big.
Right.
What we want is to reach people that need to hear us. Mm-hmm. And we don't know who that is, but we've already gone through our entire friends list.
Yeah.
We want other people to see it and have the access to it. So it's not about getting famous. It's about, and I actually talked about this with my husband. He asked me why I was doing it. He's very supportive, by the way, in the podcast. But he asked me what my like ultimate goal was. And I said, if there's one person that watches one of our episodes and says, I learned something, I feel healed in some way, I enjoyed the information that they talked about, I'm good. If one person just has some sort of an experience that is positive, that's good enough for me. I specifically want to help people. And I think that you share that sentiment of like,
yeah, absolutely.
You're more on the information side of things, where like you want the information to be out there. I want people to feel a little more healed, but I think we both have the same
end goal
of like, we just want people to feel like this is a place they can come and have some safety and talk about the hard stuff.
For sure.
Yeah. So next time.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Bye.